And welcome to Exploring Cambodia. Today you will be learning about this amazing country. Angkor Wat is a beautiful place, and it could be a perfect place to have a picnic in the front lawns of this amazing place.
The Mekong River is the 12th largest river in the world and 2,700 miles long.
Cambodia's neighbours are Thailand, Laos, Vietnam and Bangladesh. Cambodia is in the Northern Hemisphere and it is northwest of Australia. This fascinating country is near the South China Sea and the Bay of Bengal.
What is life like for a Cambodian child?
So, life for someone in Cambodia from the beginning of the day can look a lot of different things, but for a child in particular, they would probably get off very early, and a child in Cambodia lives in like a little sort of a wooden hut made out of palm leaves and lots of sort of branches and things like that. And it's probably for a whole family they would stay in something that's probably the size of one bedroom that we have here in Australia. So they'd wake up and they would find themselves something to eat, and often when they eat a lot of egg, because they have chickens that roam sort of free around their communities. So they'd have eggs and things that they'd be able to fry up over a hot portable stove, and then they might have that over rice. Rice is a very popular thing that they eat with almost every meal, including their breakfasts. They also have fresh fruits. I remember having the most beautiful, tiny, weeny little mandarins to eat. They were so small, but they were so juicy and delicious. And they also had, I can't remember what it was called, it's like a star fruit, but it was like a purple, dragon fruit, I think they called it, which I hadn't tried. I was too scared to try it, but a lot of people, when I was there, really liked eating it. So they have lots of fresh fruit for breakfasts, and then some children, because they had to get up so early, if they got the opportunity to go to school, it would take them a long time to get there, because often there aren't a lot of schools, and often they have to walk for about 3 to 4 hours every day to get to their school. So some people are lucky enough to have bicycles, so that halves their trip. It makes it a lot quicker to get to school. When they get to school, they do two types of lessons. Half their day is learning Khmer, which is the language in Cambodia, and then the other half of the day they learn English. When I was in Cambodia, I had the privilege of going through the markets, and everybody would call us Barung, and Barung means, or Barung means foreigner in Khmer, and they get so excited when they saw us, and all the kids would want to say, "Hello, how are you?" To me, because they were learning English. So they get to school, so they have half their day learning their national language and half their day learning English. They don't have all the equipment like we have at school, and they don't often have libraries, so they don't get to do a lot of reading. And what they do get to read, it's very simple sort of books. They don't get access to computers very often either, so there's a lot of people here in Australia trying to help them get computers so that they can email and all those sorts of things and find out about the world beyond Cambodia. When they get home, they usually have to go and work. So they will go out onto the rice paddy fields, or they'll have to prepare dinners, or prepare the house for time with the family. And often when they do have dinners and things, they actually have all their community come together for their dinners. So they don't just have family dinners like we do, they have whole communities come together, so all your neighbours and things come and eat with you. So that's really, really cool. Some children don't get to go to school because their parents can't afford it. And their schools cost about $1, American dollar, for a term. And their parents still can't afford to send their children to that school, and they can't afford the clothing for them to go to school either. So if they don't get to go to school, they get to stay at home and look after all the other children in the village, and they go and do things like building and gardening, and even sometimes they go out onto the rice fields and plant or harvest rice. So it's a pretty tough life for a child in Cambodia compared to us. We get driven to school, we get tuck shop, we get to go on computers and read books and things, so it's very different.
Can you tell me about the language in Cambodia?
So the language in Cambodia, they speak more than one language. They speak Khmer, which is the official Cambodian language, and they also speak French because in their history they have had French settlements. And also they speak English. Every child in Cambodia can speak 2 languages. Some of the things that I learnt when I was in Cambodia was, I think I mentioned earlier, a word called burung, or burung, and what that meant was foreigner. So whenever, as we were going through the streets in Cambodia, there'd be little people going, burung, burung, because we were very pale skinned people. And so what I actually learnt was, I thought that must have been Khmer language, but actually it was French, because it's French for foreigner. So the other thing that I learnt was every time that you said hello to someone, you had to say Soksabai, which means hello, how are you? And that was in Khmer. And the other thing you would always say was Akun, which means thanks, or Akun Tran, which is thank you very much. And when you did that, because they're a Buddhist nation, they would often bow. So they'd always say Akun Tran. And that was something that I had a lot of trouble when I came home, stopping myself from doing that when I said thank you to someone.
Akun Tran. So Ansha, tell me some of the interesting facts about Cambodia.
The capital city of Cambodia is Phnom Penh, and the king is Nur Sultan.
The life expectancy for nation is 62 years, and for women is 65 years.
Cambodia is officially known from the Kingdom of Cambodia. Is there anything else you know about Cambodia?
Okay, so Cambodia used to be rich, but this man came along and demanded that everyone had the same amount of money. And he took all the money that people didn't appear to be using or sharing. And this man became rich, and the people of Cambodia became poor. Some foods include rice, pork, beef, jelly donuts, and fish. People also eat insects like caterpillars, flies, spiders, and other bugs. And here is a delicious jelly donut.
Many houses in Cambodia are small straw huts, and some people sadly live in garbage dumps. Only the rich people live in houses, and real rich people live in big cities. School in Cambodia costs about $2 or $3 a term.
Outside, you must have a uniform to go to school. Many families cannot afford to send their children to school. So people buy uniforms and go to Cambodia to build schools so that more children get an education.
Tell me something about Cambodia, Addie. Phew, I've just been on a lovely trek around Cambodia. So in Cambodia, there is dirt roads and not very many hills and mountains. It's mostly flat. There's also lovely undeveloped beaches and unspoilt forests. Cambodia's forests contain usable timber as well as trees that are prized for their aromatic oil and resins. We About the climate in Cambodia. So in Cambodia, it is hot all year round and there is a wet season and a dry season. There is really no autumn and December is a dry season. Also, Cambodia's climatic zone is tropical all year round. In the wet season, there is a lot of flooding, especially near the Tonle Sap Lake. The country is also affected by monsoon and the average temperature is around 27 degrees Celsius. Tell me about the fun in Cambodia. In Cambodia, they play soccer and volleyball. They also love to dance and sing. When they dance and sing, they love to listen to Justin Bieber music. In each house, there is a family of about 8 to 10 people. Ox cars are used in the dry season. Ferries, buses and trains are packed with people and goods.
Thanks for watching. See you next time.
We made it to